One is asking here, any perspective on Calgary real estate, days of inventory in the new development regions where Toronto investors dumped money, sight unseen is rocketing, whatever that means. I think it's just asking your perspective about Calgary real estate.
I just get the data that's released to the public in Calgary. I can probably try to remember what I need know, but I'm not. Generally speaking, I've hearing anecdotal stories. I will start with actually, I know a realtor, and he told me after the peak, I think it was late 2022, he called me and he asked me for something. He's a newer realtor, but he did very well. And he said, I bought 3 pre-construction condos, not one, but 3 in Calgary. Do you think I should sell them? I'm like, yeah. No, they probably went up since he bought them. I don't know when they were completions, well, when the completion was, but there are lots of speculators and pre-construction buyers that have gone to Calgary and Alberta in general to buy. So that's for sure. There will be lots. Now the market hasn't reached a new peak this year. It reached their last peak in 2024. So the only reason most of those people bought pre-construction is to speculate because prices are going up. And if prices don't go up, and we're probably seeing that cool off there right now from what I've heard and things I've seen, the market is cooling off. Investors are trying to dump them through assignments. So Calgary's had some big and long downturns in the past, and Alberta in general. And I wouldn't expect any different this time. They're just behind us in the cycle. They're on like a different cycle, but they're behind us. So yeah, it's again, for data, I don't have the data, but I have looked at certain data points in the past, and it's things are changing there by the sounds of it, and changing quickly.
Right. Right. It surprises me actually what's going on in Calgary, because Calgary used to be a desirable city to live in. It's a beautiful city. It's actually probably my first choice of a city to live in
Yeah.
Canada. They do things really big, almost a little kind of American, so it makes me like them.
I was amazed by
But
Calgary when I went there. I couldn't believe how beautiful it was either. I said, wow, like I didn't expect it to
oh
be like
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, I always go back there, especially the
Yeah.
mountains as well. It's a really beautiful place, but homes went from being like the upper 400s to low 800s right now, even in places like Erdry, which is on the outskirts. That's a little scary. In fact, now I think the prices out in Calgary is about the same as here in Ottawa, where I live, which I think that's a woeful situation out there.
Now,
Uh,
you will. Sorry, I'll add to that. So you're going to see investors and speculators dump or try to assign their units because they know they're not going to make money. And you're also going to see people move back to wherever, Ontario or BC or whatever they came from, for various reasons, that it's too far away from family, et cetera. I just had a call from somebody last week, and they sold in Niagara and they moved to Calgary, sold their house for like over $1 million and moved out there and bought something for 400 and something. And they just called saying they're moving back because their kids they're going to be grandparents and it's too far away. So you're going to see a lot of that. Like they moved there for the price, but now they need to move back for many reasons. There could be many reasons to move back, but that was just one.
All right, so let's make the second question very quick, actually. So this person is essentially asking, Jasper, what's your perspective for first-time home buyers making low 6 figures and not wanting to ever feel house poor? What will be the strategy for the next several quarters? What should they be doing right now? First-time home buyers.
Yeah, so I think that wait for opportunities. Like, don't buy because like I've waited long enough and now it's time to get in and I can afford it or barely afford it or it sucks, I'm going to do it anyway. Like, that's not a good situation. I think, yeah, wait for the times, wait for the opportunities, wait for the mortgage arrears to increase, wait for the unemployment to increase, and hopefully you don't lose your job or else you won't be buying anything either. But yeah, there's no urgency. So whenever your time is, go ahead and buy. If it makes sense, buy, but don't buy for any other reason that it's right for you and it's an opportunity. You need to be like confident and bragging to your friends about how great of a house you got for the price.
Yeah, and I think I know the feeling of not owning a home in the past, and you constantly feeling like you're flushing your money down the toilet for rent. I know that feeling. I know the feeling of you just want something of yours, that you accumulate some equity over time. One thing to add to what you said is, if also people are first-time home buyers, what I always recommend for them is, do you necessarily have to buy in the heart of the city? That's what I did in the past. In fact, I still live on the outskirts until now, because I actually find I can save a lot more money by doing that. Yes, you drive more, but you plan your route, you plan the time you get out, you can get through that. But buy on the outskirt as well. Prices tend to be more stable on the outskirt in most cities. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even in Ontario, the Golden Horseshoe here, the further you're willing to drive, the better the more affordable it is. And I think that it used to be like drive till you qualify or something. That was years ago. Yeah, no, it's definitely, if it depends where you want to be. And I think the one thing I want to add actually to what I have to say about that was there's this like, and the parents are guilty of this. It's the parents, because the parents, I don't know what is. I think they're just uneducated when it comes to the overall market, and they've always made money on their homes. Maybe that's what it is, and they just don't understand current fundamentals. But they say, just get into the market, little Jimmy or whatever, right? Like, just get into the market. Like, that's just like such a blanket and poor statement. Like, so you're just going to get into the market in 2022. If you had just got into the market in 2021, you'd be in the market, and if you needed to sell, you'd get the same price that you bought it for in 2021 if you got into the market in 2022. So I think that they should maybe add an ending to that statement. Just get into the market when the opportunity arises, is what I would say, not just do it whatever it takes. Like, that, just get into the market means do it whatever it takes, get into the market and make it work. Like, no, forget that.
Right. So let me ask this last set of questions to you. You mentioned in one of your tweets that if Carney wins, you're gonna move your business to the States. I think that's a very bold thing to say.
Yeah. Oh, you want? Yeah. Okay. So I don't do many in-depth acts. Like, me and mine are very plain and simple. A couple of people replied with the appropriate reply, and I said it's exactly. And it was a poke at Carney because he moved his to the U.S. So it was a non-serious quote from me saying, well, I'm going to move it to the U.S. just like Carney did, right?
Okay.
So it was a sarcastic one, but I maybe should have added, but that would have taken away from the sarcasm. But I cannot move my brokerage to the U.S. It's impossible. I would have to get it licensed there and get a work visa. Like, nobody actually called me out on that either. But yeah, that was a sarcastic thing. Yeah, good question.
So finally, if you could fix one problem or one policy right now, you've stated indirectly your opinion about the two candidates, the two parties right now. I don't have to ask you explicitly whom you're voting for. I think that's unnecessary. But if you could fix one policy right now or tomorrow that would actually help Canada chart a path into economic prosperity, what could that be?
That's a good question. There's so many policies that you'd have to change, but just one, I would say unlock the resources, the pipeline policy, revoke that Bill C-69 or whatever that no more pipeline one is. And I guess it would be, have the pipelines built, because this is what Canada, we have so many natural resources and natural gas. Not only just have that, but have it so that we consume our own oil and gas on the East Coast or in Eastern Canada. Like, right now, we're supposedly getting it from Saudi Arabia and even Russia. Like, why are we buying oil from Russia and Saudi Arabia when we have the third biggest or second or third, I believe, biggest oil reserves in the world?